Hey guys, welcome. I have told the computer, start simulation. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek um, during quarantine. I hope you guys are all right. Hope you guys are doing okay. Uh, Watching a lot of scary movies, watching a lot of how to draw videos and that kind of stuff. And I'm seeing that there's a ton of information out there. Lots of great resources, lots of not so great resources. Uh, So this isn't going to be an how to draw video. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and I'm going to pick something subject-wise. You'll get to see the visuals as I start to work my way around, I have the hiccups now. Uh, as I start to work my way around the information on whichever subject I pick. In some cases, I might be doing research for a future illustration or concept or a commission, but this is not going to be an instructional video. It's more along the lines of just like a thought process. It is essentially a vlog. I'm just blogging my thoughts and seeing if we can come across anything that can be helpful to you guys. Seeing if we can touch on some information that maybe you guys will be inspired by or you guys will find interesting. And something's going on with my computer. It's taking a lot of time. It's taken a lot of time, guys. See, now with an instructional video, I couldn't go in and do these stupid voices. Uh, I couldn't do stupid voices. I like stupid voices. My stupid voices. I like voices in general. Not that voices are stupid. Uh, Here we go. Can somebody give me a shovel? Shovel? Anybody got a shovel for me? So, I don't know. I'm just gonna start off with warming up. I have a particular warm up that I do. Not always, but if I haven't been drawing for a while, um, I'll try to reinforce better habits by practicing a specific warm up. Oh, Mr. YouTube, or Mr. Google. T-Rex. We're gonna look up some T-Rex right now. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh, the Tyrannosaurus. That doesn't. Soar. I don't know what I'm trying to do there, but it's awesome. Either way. uh, Come on, man. Come on. Work with me here. Work with me. Come on, dear. Come on. Uh, Anybody? Work with me. Anybody? Mrs. Doubtfire? Anybody? All you older people, all you younger people, all you younger and older people, like Mrs. Doubtfire. Lines. You know what? Lines, guys. Lines are important. Not just in drawing, but establishing lines in life. That's important. Draw. Fudged up that straight line at the very bottom. That's okay. This pencil is jaggedy everywhere. I could probably smooth that out, but we all choose what we use. Choose what we use. So I'm just gonna stick with it. There we go. I'll just draw that. Stick with it. No, I can't believe I have the hiccups now. Ryan started the fire. Who's been watching The Office? I already mentioned that, but I haven't asked you guys. Anybody new to The Office here? What's been your favorite scene so far? I think my favorite scene has got to be one of the cold opens, where I don't know if it was a cold open. I don't know if they could say every open is a cold open. I don't really understand the notion of a cold open. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. But my favorite opening scene in The Office is when Andy gets called into the office by the manager office by Michael, and and Michael tells him, "Hey, we've been getting some complaints about you using baby talk." And Andy does the baby talk voice. Um, Andy is scared. And then Michael proceeds to do an Elvis impression voice, and then they start complimenting each other on it. Thank you, Mr. Elvis. Like, that's my favorite. That is my favorite. I love that scene. I don't know why. It's just ridiculous to have a grown man talking baby talk like that. Uh, I'm sure some people are into it. I don't know. I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh at other people's uh, passions. Not passion. Maybe they're passions, but I don't know. I shouldn't laugh at other people's choices. Thank you, Mr. Elvish. Plus, I think your baby's voice is tops. Thank you, Mr. Elvish. No problem, baby. No problem. Oh, that's one of my favorite scenes. I don't know why. I don't. I don't know why. Thank you, Mr. Elvish. Sometimes it's just like drawing straight lines. You guys ever like drawing just lines? Is there a way to get paid to just draw lines? Just lines and geometric shapes. Uh, that's called architecture. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. I suppose that's what I meant. Yeah, I suppose that's what I meant. Maybe, no, not even like making a design out of, because architecture serves a function of designing a building or some kind of structure. In this case, we're just talking about abstracts. So yeah, people get paid to do abstracts as well. I mean, that's why you have abstract painters. But I don't know. I think those paintings, they supply themselves, and those artists supply themselves with a large amount of contextual idea generating. And in this case, I'm not even talking about the notion of creating something contextually, something that's based off of a really deep thought or has a wonderful premise. This doesn't feel. Is that right? I think that looks crooked. That line looks crooked, doesn't it, guys? See, my eye is not perceiving things the way I want it to. So warming up is always good. To gauge where your hand is, where your eye is at that time. Pa-pow, chickow, shika-shika, shika-shika. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh, it's a bit off. We're not aiming for perfection here. The notion of perfection, to me, is a misinterpretation as far as it comes to art. Is a misinterpretation of the eventual product that's created, which in a visual standpoint or in terms of execution demands accuracy. And the amount of accuracy you have is demonstrated by the amount of accuracy you have is demonstrated by the amount of skill that you supply yourself with and the amount of time that it equates to be accurate. Nobody's born accurate. Accuracy is a notion that requires time and consistency. Time and consistency. Cuckoo-ca-cha. Cuckoo-ca-cha. I'm a big fan of those awkward comedies. I don't know what you can call them. What you can call like The Office. I guess it's just like they have it categorized as an office comedy, right? A workplace comedy. Yeah. Essentially, it's a mockumentary, right? Isn't that the same thing? Mockumentaries are meant to. Oof. Mockumentaries are meant to. What? Meant to do things. Meant to. Mockumentaries. Meant to. Poke fun at documentaries. I get really quiet sometimes, especially when I'm trying to focus up, and I'm not accustomed to. I'm not accustomed to drawing digitally and talking. I mean, I teach and I do this occasionally. It's been really good for me to develop that skill. Because there's something about executing at the same time and explaining that level of execution to someone. There's something about that skill that isn't really practiced all that often. It's like talking is one thing that demands focus and attention, and in respect to drawing, it's different. It's two different pieces of the puzzle. You have to articulate and think about what you're doing, as well as think about and articulate what your hand is doing. So yeah, abstractions. I like creating these abstractions because they can be as thoroughly broken down as I want them to be. And I practiced this abstraction before in order to try and get better accuracy out of my hand, even with the feathering of that line. Like, I didn't like how that went. So I'll try and stretch that line out as best I can, trying to do it consistently. And now I'm just pulling some plumb lines, and the intersecting parts of these lines are the important. They're the important crosshairs. They're the important intersections that I can use as a framework in order to better establish a circle. Oh, I knew this line curved just a little bit, but it looks like I'm off somewhere. It's funny the amount of oh damn, the amount of errors equates to just small integers of measurement, millimeters, centimeters, millimeters. It's tough. And then trying to fit the circle in here. Oh man. And then make sure that it's a circle. You gotta have at least one of those arcs right. And in some cases, it's like, well, maybe I over calculated. And so I'm studying, it's just studying. And it doesn't have to be precious. That's the beautiful thing about it. I can screw up on this as many times as I want, and nobody's gonna care. So maybe this isn't an instructional video, but more a video on training yourself to be kinder to yourself, especially when you apply yourself and you find that life things are not happening the way that you wanted them to. I mean, I've gone through that. I'm going through that. And the best thing we can do is just apply whatever skills we have to get out of those situations, or don't apply them and then let the universe just happen, because the universe will make a decision for you if you don't make a decision. That's generally what I believe occurs. Son of a gun. See, like with this line, that becomes a problem for me. And now all this recorrecting is happening because small aspects of the geometry of this circle are off, where maybe this line is not exactly straight and tilts a little bit this way, or maybe this line tilts a little bit too far up. I can't see it right now because my eye doesn't pick that up. But either way, I have to take a step back and just realize how much I enjoy the process, and just say, I am mindful of my actions. I'm going to get better. And that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm not going to beat myself up because I didn't get a perfect circle on the first try, or I didn't get these lines right the first time, and there's a drawing error here, there's some drawing errors here, there's a drawing error within the thickness of this line, there's a drawing error here. You know, you could nitpick all of that stuff. And it might be important to you to get accurate. And that's good. You should aim for accuracy. But don't be so strict about it that it stifles your creative process. Because at some point you'll have to dive out of that, and you'll have to be brave. And whether or not you abandon your skills in order to produce something, you just want it to be a product of your own design. And you want it to be something that benefits not only you, something that benefits other people, and adds to this greater value of being human. So I get that, you know, as an art video, this isn't exactly instructional, but perhaps you can take away the notion of just stopping for a moment, you know, and enjoying what it is that you're doing, no matter where you are or who you're with, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve as a person to be the best you can be, and we all are just trying to live. We're all just going through the motions. And I keep doing this over and over again, not because I want to get it perfect, but because I want to be mindful of what it takes to do something over and over again and fail at that thing until I get it right. And then when I get it right, I try to do it over again. In drawing, I try to do that and get the same effect, and it won't be the same, but I'll get closer again to it. And maybe one time out of 10, I'll hit that same movement until I practice over and over again and make that 2 times out of 10, and then 5 times out of 10, until it's 9 times out of 10. And then 10 out of 10. See, that was a hasty little movement there. You know, I kind of could tell that I I kind of gave up on that line. So when you find that you're making those mistakes, just stop. Put the pencil down. I'm going to do this one more time. Yeah. Okay, that's where I'm at right now. I'm breathing and I've completed the circle. And even though it got really wonky, that's fine. I'm going to take like a few seconds, breathe, stop for a moment. So yeah, during quarantine, I've been drawing and painting quite a bit. Excuse me, not painting with oils or wash like I like to, but doing some digital stuff because I have the capabilities right now, and I like digital stuff. I like it a lot. Um, Hopefully it'll provide me with some nice little avenues later on down the road. But ended up watching the first 7 episodes of Power Rangers. I'll probably go through and finish that. Rewatched The Office, rewatched Breaking Bad, rewatched Better Call Saul, rewatched Penny Dreadful, rewatched a ton of scary movies. Stranger Things. Ran into some new television shows or web series that I like. Love, Death, and Robots. Man, that's interesting. It almost reminds me of, like, the sci-fi aspect reminds me of Black Mirror. It just leaves you with that. It is not always a notion of dread, but it just leaves you with that awkward feeling. It's not exactly visceral. The experience I get when I watch Black Mirror is dark, ominous, moody. It's a very, if I was to describe it as a chocolate, it'd be very rich, very dark, smooth. I don't know who describes television shows with food, but you have that now. I do. Well, how would you describe, I'm talking to myself now, how would you describe Game of Thrones? What kind of food is Game of Thrones? Ooh, Game of Thrones. I would say that it's complex with a bitter finish. It's complex. It can be very, very uh, uh, full body, very very heavy, and I'd probably describe food that way, as a very heavy experience, very robust in its flavors, but the finish is always bitter, always bitter, bittersweet. Not even bittersweet. I wouldn't even say it's bittersweet. I would just say it's bitter. Some people might like bitter stuff. I mean, I don't know. So I hope everybody's doing okay during quarantine and during all this craziness happening around the world. It's hard not to address those issues when they're so prominent, and we want to make changes. We want to make changes in the world. So if you can't find it in yourself to stand up and say something about the issues of today, I would say do something to work on yourself. Take a moment to inspire somebody. Try to inspire. Take a moment to get to know someone. Take a moment to enjoy that person's experience. Take a moment to enjoy your own experience and ask yourself what you can do to enrich that experience and then help better the experience of others. Because as an artist, that's what I focus on, is trying to be a great storyteller or trying to build my skills to be a great storyteller in order to connect with the audience, connect with the viewer, connect with all of humanity. That's the power of storytelling. That's the power of craft. You can do that through music. You can do it through drawing. You can do it through you can even do it through woodworking. You can do it through sports. You can do it through science. I mean, it all applies. It's all applicable. The essence of craft and skill building is essentially woven into this giant tapestry of mastery, and mastery encompasses all aspects of professionalism and encompasses aspects of life. And, take that with a grain of salt, because as a human being, I'm prone to faults and I have my flaws. I know what's worked for me, and I know how I feel about certain things, like the philosophies I've reached not a conclusion on, but the philosophies that I currently have at heart, why they're important to me, and they're always backed by something visceral. Did I say that word earlier? I probably like that word, so they're always backed by something real, something that is an experience. A lot of philosophy can be deemed information that you take from somebody else, but until you actually experience the notion of that philosophy in truth within your own life, then it floats out there in the ether to be experienced. It floats out there in order it waits to be understood. So take it upon yourself to search out the philosophies that are important to you, search out the meanings of things, and better yourself with more information, with more knowledge. Refine that knowledge, refine that information, and use it to inspire people. Use it to make things better. It's hard not to hold information over people's head and just be like, oh, well, you're ignorant because you don't know this. And people are always ignorant of some fact or another. People are always missing a key piece of information. It doesn't matter if they're Sherlock Holmes. They could know tons and tons of information nobody else would, but then there's something in the repertoire of information that they choose to either they choose to not recognize, or they just don't know because they haven't been led to particular uh, that particular point where they're interested in knowing, or they've surrounded themselves with the people that address those issues. They have, or maybe they haven't. I just need a drink of water. Sorry. So I guess I'm going to end that right there. This has pretty much been just a nice little test video. I got a little warm up in. As you can see, the file that I have is called Film Analysis. It comes at night. Maybe while I'm drawing next time, I'll do a review. I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven blank layers of information, little notes that I took while I have it played on the other screen over here, and I was just writing down. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with movies and cinema and television. Um, so let me know what kind of TV shows or books or movies inspire you. That would be great to hear. Just leave a comment, and we'll dive into the elements of storytelling together. That'll be fun. Okay, take care, guys. Be safe.